Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. Welcome to Transfer Hub, your home of Aston Villa's transfer news, links, rumours, noise, murmurings, incomings, outgoings. You will find it here over on Transfer Hub. So subscribe to our channel if you're new. Smash that like button. Let's try and go for 600 on this one. Actually, no, we'll go 700. We'll go 700. We'll go the player that we're going to be talking about. We'll talk about his number. So let's go 700. And comment your thoughts in the comment section. This is going to be a big topic in the comment section. I can feel it in my bones that this one is going to have a lot of talking points to it. So we're going to be talking about John Mcginn and the interest from Everton. So this is coming from The Athletic, and we have the following. Everton have shown interest in Aston Villa midfielder John Mcginn, but the Midlands club have indicated they would like to keep hold of the 30-year-old Scotland international, their captain since 2022. Everton are continuing to make progress on a deal to sign France under-21 striker Tierno Barry from Spain's Villarreal. So, let's get stuck into this one. John Mcginn, interest from Everton. No. Shut it down. That's all I'm saying. Well, I'm not, because I'm going to say more. But John Mcginn is worth more to us at Villa than not at Villa. That is the bottom line for me. He's got so much value to the squad, to the team, to the youth players at Villa, to the fans, on and off the pitch, captain, etc., leader. He's worth so much to Aston Villa, and the price of selling him just isn't worth it. It's not worth it. The fee, what could we get? Looking at around, SofaScore is saying he's valued at 15. I would say 15 to 10 is probably the market that we're in here. He's 30. But I just don't like the idea of him not being part of this squad in our current position. There's a lot of players that I'd say I can run through. Players could leave and we could go out there and spend a lot of money to replace them. Matty Cash, Leon Bailey, etc. Those players that are, we're looking to strengthen in those areas. You'd go and spend a lot of money to replace them. Whereas with John Mcginn, I just feel like his value is worth more than what his transfer fees. And I think, looking into, if we were to sell him, we'd be looking to bring in like a squad player, if that makes sense. We wouldn't be bringing in a first teamer that's guaranteed to start everywhere. And I'm not saying that John McGinn's not like that. I think John McGinn's role within this team has changed over the years, and I think it will probably continue to change next season. And I don't really like the idea of your captain coming off, but that's what Unai tends to do with him and gives the armband then to Martinez. And if Martinez goes, we're going to probably need another vice captain, which might be Yuri Tielemans. So he pretty much will stay on the pitch at all times anyway. But I think, like I've just touched on, McGinn's position has changed over the years, and I think this Villa squad has changed in the way in which there's only a couple of players that pretty much start every game and are guaranteed to play every game. You look at Konsa, Kamara when fit. I look at, who else are we looking at? Rodgers, Watkins, and then everybody else is built up around this squad that we've got that is kind of game dependent. And McGinn is one of those. McGinn's not a 90-minute player that plays every game. His role plays off the striker, on the right, on the left. So we mix it up. But I just feel like he's got the value there of being a solid player for Villa. And I also feel like, for me, at times, I prefer McGinn on the pitch. And I think we're still at the phase where we're better when he's on the pitch. And yes, his position does tweak and does move around a little bit. But I think, yeah, he's one of those players that I think we are better. And I also feel like when we're coming up against tough, solid midfields, he's the player that has to play for me. So first game of the season, we're looking like we're going to be playing, well, we are playing Newcastle with Tonali, Gomes, Joelinton. McGinn is in there. Like, you are not playing John McGinn first game of the season at home against Newcastle, when you are going to have to get stuck in, you have to be present, and you have to show what you're all about. So for me, he stays there. That I just don't see any reason, any value by going, do you know what? I'm on board with that. I'd get rid of him. I really don't see it. Right, so let's just have a little look, because we don't tend to do this with Villa players. We don't tend to look at what we've got. So he's 30 and he's got a market value of 15.5 million. His strengths are long ball passing and high pressing. Yeah, I'm pressing, definitely. He's a pressing machine for Villa. We have a look at like where he played last season for Villa, and that's what I'm talking about. He's a Unai Emery Swiss Army knife player. He just flips it. What have I got? I'm going there, and you can see. And predominantly, he was on that right hand side, so that shows what he's all about for Villa. So he played 34 games, started 27, 66 minutes per game, and that role's fine. That role's fine. The only problem I've got with it is that I don't like your captain coming off. That's what I don't like. So I don't really know the solution, and I can't imagine we take it off him. So he got 4 assists, and what I will say about him last season is the goals and the assists were down. They weren't as high as what they needed to be for me. So next season, I would like to see a little bit more input from him. So 87% pass accuracy, 91% in his own half, 78 in the opposition half, 2.9 ball recoveries per game. But this is the big one, guys. This is the big one. 61% successful dribbles, 55% total duels, 54 ground duels, and 59% aerial duels. That there is so important to our team, because that little bit of bite, that little bit of know-how is so crucial. And the other thing that's really crucial is experience, Premier League experience. You can't overlook it. It's so important. And, he's got that role that he does, but nobody can get near it. So the value of him there is just absolutely integral. Let's have a look at Champions League. So again, we had some real good numbers in the Champions League with the ratings, positional wise, pretty similar. 10 appearances, started 9. This is a proper player. So we got 3 goals in the Champions League, 2 assists. So we got better numbers in the Champions League, to be fair. We have a little look at his numbers over the years for Villa. So we had that real standout season, 23-24, 9 goals, 7 assists. So actually, it was just his goals that were a little bit lacking, really. Just wanted to see a few more goals from him. So, yeah, John McGinn, he's an absolute legend. And on and off the pitch, he's he's hilarious. He's funny, and my heart warms to John McGinn. It really does. And the other thing that I'll mention just before we go is that he played 3,323 minutes, which again is really, really high. You know, those minutes that he's playing are high. So it looks like we're not interested. We're not interested in selling him. Like, we're not interested. That is the bottom line. So I'm pleased with that. And I just want to reiterate how I feel he's important to Aston Villa. I think that's the big picture for me of his importance. We can even talk about the importance of integrating new players, squad harmony, the understanding of Villa. It's very important. And for me, he still is a very, very important player for Aston Villa. So, Villa fans, let me know your thoughts. Up the Villa.